You know, there's been two things that I've dedicated my career and my life on, and that is the saving of America, which we're in process of doing that right now. Don't know how it works out. We still have a lot of work to do, but I think God stepped in to save us. Why would he save us? Why? Is it just for our freedom? I think it is bigger than that. I really believe we're in those days. And the tools to oppress, as described in the book of Revelation, is upon us. It is a beast. Tonight's topic is very, very heavy. The global arms race to AI is crazy. And so are the people who want to control it and re-engineer society with it, like the World Economic Forum. It is very concerning. I am afraid that people think that this is just going to be like the iPhone or Alexis. It's not, or Alexa. It's not. It is not like that. That's thinking that surgery is like playing the game Operation. I don't want to be doom and gloom, but I do need you to understand it's now here. Before I get into some of the signs I saw at the World Economic Forum meeting last week, here are a few wins that can be traced directly back to you. It is this audience that began getting the word out just a few short years ago. You did this. This month, a federal judge hit American Airlines for their ESG investing, saying it violates federal law. Does that happen just a few years ago? Does it happen without you, this audience, your outcry? BlackRock just left the UN's net zero initiative. Are you kidding me? BlackRock? The entire association folded soon after. This was the weapon. This was their Death Star the elites of the world had, who would gather at the World Economic Forum. This is what they were wielding to enforce ESG and keep us in a box. ESG was one of the biggest weaponized tools of the Great Reset transition, and it is imploding before our very eyes. It is glorious, but as we saw last week, this is far from over. At the end of the day, this entire operation is about shifting all of the wealth of the world, all of it, towards a few select people. Listen to this banker at the World Economic Forum last week stating very clearly what this is all about.
We've got to do our bit to do the right thing vis-a-vis our clients, because they want to transition to a net zero environment, but it requires massive investment. That's what we do. We come up with those dollars. But two is we make money. Right? It's a big business for us.
This is big business. Their clients. Do you know anybody that wants that? Their clients are the elites at the World Economic Forum, and it's a big business for us. It's making boatloads of money. It's transferring wealth. And for the Billionaire Boys Club, they believe they've already put the world on an unstoppable train. For them, as mentioned in their conversations last week, the election of Donald Trump doesn't matter. Really? As per the CEO of IKEA, who stated, quote, "The roadmap to transformation has started. It is massive. It is unstoppable. We are already collaborating on a scale where no one can stop it. Not one country, not one leader making a decision." So what is it that they've been building? What is this freight train that just no one can stop? Well, I want to show you a piece of it. John Kerry was talking about an initiative on a corridor. Listen to this new corridor.
This is one of the strongest and most exciting proposals that I've been privileged to be part of in the years that I have come to the World Economic Forum. This is big. This is a huge idea. And it depends on the best of private sector, public sector cooperation.
Do you even know what he's talking about? If I said it's a corridor in the Congo, would you be like, oh, yeah, I heard about that. That's very exciting. What are they talking about? It's one of the biggest and best examples of public-private partnerships. What is it? Well, it's something they call a golden global gateway. for the proof of concept for our sustainable future. It brings together transportation, manufacturing, security, basically everything under one umbrella for the common good for the people that reside there in the Congo. Morals, benevolence. And the governments around the world, including our own Treasury Department under Biden, pitched in to move it along. But is it really about morality and goodwill towards men of the Congo and women and children of the Congo? Or is it more in tune with what that banker just said? It's big business for us. Does it have probably more to do with dollars? Well, the green agenda's dirty little secret is none of it will work without the exploitation of millions of African countries and their resources. The people there are going to be devastated. John Kerry heaped admiration on this great example of a public-private partnership lifting up the people of the Congo. Well, it might have made more of an impact, for me at least, if they would have added in these cute little facts. The Congo is the world's largest producer of cobalt, the main element used in the batteries of all those electric cars everybody at the WEF loves so much. The Congo is also a major producer of copper, essential for all the clean energy proposals and more electricity. Come on, can you guys make it a little less obvious? This is about money, power, and control. China is doing their Silk Road, the road and belt thing that they're doing. I can't remember the name of it right now. But the thing that they're doing, and they're saying we're being benevolent, we're holding these countries. They're raping those countries, and the WEF is doing the same thing. Now, the WEF mentioned another project they're working on. Here's the chairman of MasterCard on the steps towards an all-digital economy.
I'm really quite impressed with the current negotiations within the region on a digital economic framework agreement, which, if it is concluded, and I know there are ambitious ideas, by their own estimates, will double the potential for the digital economy in the region from 1 to 2 trillion in 2030, and would be the first regional framework on the digital economy.
We're talking about the EU, a new digital economy, being built on what seems to be a pilot program. The pilot program is, within the Association of the Southern Asian Nations. Let me show you a slide from what they did show and what it entails. It includes all private and payment as digital. All trade will be done inside the WEF system. They will monitor cross-border data and cybersecurity. It's all part of an entire system, and the biggest part is digital ID and authentication. They'll have $2 trillion worth of weight to back it all up. In other words, if anybody wants to continue to do business with this entire region, and this is just the test region, you will have to opt in for all of the regulated digital framework. That means you cannot be anonymous anymore. You cannot spend money outside of the central bank's digital currency. Everything that we hold dear, everything that the Bible says is coming, is going to be here. Everything that Bitcoin was designed to stand against in this new world. How does Bitcoin survive? It doesn't. We must be prepared to be a continent-sized island standing all by ourselves. The end of privacy and anonymity felt like sort of a side theme at the WEF this year. Here's the Prime Minister of Spain.
I propose putting an end to anonymity on social media. In our countries, no one can walk the streets with a mask on their face or drive a car without a license plate. No one can send packages without showing an ID or buy a hunting weapon without giving their name. And yet, we are allowing people to roam freely on social networks without linking their profiles to a real identity.
Amen, brother. And if you want to go out and vote, I mean, you don't need ID. What are you, a racist? The fact that the WEF is pushing this is very on brand. They are simply following the playbook for the country they think is positioned to rule the world. The same system was enacted in China. And it's not just China's police state that the elites over at the World Economic Forum covet so very much. And this is the scariest part. They see China as a blueprint for the implementation of artificial intelligence. As we saw this week, China is a lot closer than everyone thought. The question over whether we should build AI or not, that ship is sailed. It's being done whether you like it or not. It's now a question of who gets there first. Will it be the CCP? Will it be wielded by the elites of Davos to further re-engineer society? Or will it be the free United States to be first? I mean, we were first with the Manhattan Project, we were first with the moon, and everybody thought we were behind, and we were first. Will we be this time? When it comes to the race to AI, this is the most important Manhattan Project. Fundamental societal change is closer than you realize. Please stay with me. I show you next. I want you to do something that sounds crazy, but I just want you to think, ponder this tonight. If the President of the United States came on television and said, there are aliens, they are above our planet now, and they're going to land with their whole delegation and their party in the next year, how would that change your life? How would you think? How would you begin to think? How would you plan the next 4 years? What would the important things to do be? What if I told you that, yes, the aliens are there and they're coming. We don't know anything about them. We just know they're landing. But don't worry, there's a group of elites that are going to meet with them first. And, okay, they've talked about us as useless people, but they're going to protect us and they're going to get in with them first. Would you be more comfortable? And I don't say this with hyperbole. I don't make this statement lightly. We are at the precipice of the arrival of an intelligence, but not from space and not in human form. We don't understand how this intelligence will work or even think. But some elites who think you're a useless eater, some of these elites think they can get in with it and control it. I mean, that always works out really well in those alien movies, doesn't it? You know, the corporation guy who's like, yeah, and then they're always eating. We are going to see artificial intelligence and then soon after, superintelligence. Superintelligence is a god in a box. It will be as if God is among us. Now, I believe that the Trump administration finally decided enough was enough. The United States will win this race, and the new Manhattan Project just began. China will not be the first. Now, the elites at Davos will not have first dibs to re-engineer society with it, I hope. We will be the first, ready or not. This is happening. Tonight, I'm going to show you what Stargate actually is. I'm going to show you the clues from the leading experts in artificial intelligence, connect the dots, and by the end of tonight's show, and if you want more on it, you'll be able to go to BlazeTV and download my full interview with our guest who's coming up next. It is mind-blowing. You must prepare. All right, let's go back to China, DeepSeek, for a second. First things first, do not download it. And I know human nature, that makes you go, I want to download it now so bad. Don't. China is using it, not only to advance their AI development, but also as a way to spy on people like TikTok could only dream of. From DeepSeek's own words, they, quote, steal your text or audio input, prompt, uploaded files, feedback, chat history, or other content that you provide to our model and services. We automatically collect certain information from you, including internet or other network activity information, such as your IP address, unique device identifiers, and cookies. We collect certain device and network connection information. This information includes your device model, operating system, keystrokes patterns or rhythms, IP address, and system language. Where you log in from multiple devices. We use the information such as your device ID and your user ID to identify your activity across all devices. Don't download it. It's DeepSeek, apparently the American AI killer. That's what people are saying. Reason Magazine recently interviewed an AI insider, an expert, and he said this: DeepSeek and current chatbots are the equivalent of running one experiment at a time. The American AI projects currently in the works will be comparable to running millions simultaneously. Now, that is interesting to me because what he is describing is the process of when AI agents, drop in AI workers, are working as millions of super intelligent AI researchers to grow what we have now into artificial general intelligence and then super intelligence. It will grow itself, which means we will not understand how it happened. Now, this would lead you to believe we already know how to build it, but we don't have the infrastructure for it yet, which actually tracks with a recent blog post from OpenAI's Sam Altman, who said, quote, "We are now confident that we know how to build AGI, and we're beginning to turn our aim beyond that to superintelligence in the true sense of the word." Well, 9 days ago, Altman was forced to address that statement, and it was reported that he walked it back. But did he walk it back? He stated, quote, "Twitter hype is out of control again. We are not going to deploy AGI next month, nor have we built it." Okay, well, that's not what he really said the first time. He said they know how to build it, and they're moving beyond AGI to superintelligence, but they haven't built it, nor have they deployed it. I got that in the first tweet. Now, maybe because they don't have the infrastructure built, nor do they have the energy capacity. This is going to blow your mind. If we've already cracked the AI code, what exactly do you need to build and deploy this thing? Well, this is a blog post from another OpenAI expert. He is part of Super Alignment for OpenAI, which is the team that basically tries to figure out how to manage artificial superintelligence when it arrives. Good luck being the first to be eaten. His blog post goes on to say, to predict AGI possibly within 2 years and ASI not long after. Now, the biggest hang-up, as I think Sam Altman hinted in his post, is building the infrastructure and powering it. For AI to fully grow and develop, experts predict they are going to need data centers that can handle 10 gigawatts of power. Great Scott. Now, this would take $100 billion just to start with the cost of rising to several hundreds of billions of dollars over the next few years. You need one giant nuclear power plant. And then all of the servers that are draining that thing every day. It is looking to me more and more like Silicon Valley knows how to build AI. They just need the funds and the infrastructure to launch it, which tracks with the most of the known players in America's race for AI. Meta is dumping billions into AI infrastructure. Amazon is doing the same, looking for the way to solve the power consumption problem. Microsoft and OpenAI are already pledging $100 billion, the exact amount mentioned in the blog post I showed you a minute ago, to build out their data center. The only thing left that would truly send this arms race into endgame would be a government-led Manhattan Project type effort to push this over the finish line. Did you notice who was hobnobbing around with the president at the inauguration? Don't worry, just people like Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Tim Cook, Sundar Pichai from Google. Pretty much every major player in the American global AI race. One day later, the president made an announcement. The U.S. government, along with OpenAI, SoftBank, who is absolutely in bed, all of these people are in bed with WEF, Oracle, they launched a project called Stargate. This is a joint venture that would include $100 billion, the exact proposed amount needed to launch an AGI data cluster to actually fund the AI data centers. Okay, the money allotted is reported to grow by over $500 billion over the next 4 years. Again, exactly what is projected to be needed in order to see AGI make it to ASI by 2030. Our world is about to change in ways, remember the aliens coming down, in ways you won't know how to plan for. It doesn't have to be a scary thing, but it is like the nuclear bomb. So many times over. You drop in AI agents, which are about to take over jobs at an insane place. You're going to see this beginning soon. You'll have soon a Zoom meeting with 2 humans and 2 AI agents, when it used to be 4 human beings. There's still a lot to process and worry about. For one, do we really trust some of these wolves that are surrounding President Trump? People like Zuckerberg, Google, the rest? Were they not just recently fully on board with the WEF? Not to mention, one of the partners is a company called MGX. That's basically the government of the UAE, a strong WEF ally. The Manhattan Project has begun. Here's President Trump speaking remotely at the WEF.
This reduced the cost of virtually all goods and services. It'll make the United States a manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto.
Okay, he was talking about solving the power consumption problem and opening up the U.S. oil and gas. Our government is finally getting serious about this, and AI is coming, probably in the next couple of years. Are we ready?